Iran and US considering ceasefire proposal after both sides exchange threats. Pope celebrates Easter Sunday with another peace call. And local rescuers found the missing mainland hiker. Good evening, welcome to TVB News. A 79-year-old previously missing hiker was found conscious near a Kwantai temple in the afternoon. This marks the end of a 3-day search and rescue operation on Michael Hall's trail. Samantha Lee tells us the story.
Good news just in. Missing hiker He Chen-an has been found alive on the third day of search. At around 5 p.m. today, the 79-year-old was found conscious near Kwantai Temple in Thailand Country Park and is currently being treated in hospital. Over the weekend, a joint operation involving the police, firefighters, civil aid and the flying service had been looking for the hiker, who went missing on Saturday while hiking with his wife. It is understood he is a mainlander who is in Hong Kong visiting relatives. The couple went hiking along Section 10 of the McLehose Trail Saturday morning. While the wife left the trail during bad weather, he stayed behind and lost contact shortly after. The only clue discovered was one of his shoes, which was spotted by a monk. He said he found the lone shoe on the way from Kwantai Temple to the reservoir. Interestingly, the shoe looked totally out of place, clean, dry and placed horizontally on the path, despite the heavy rain. The monk described the discovery as unusual, based on his 5 decades of experience with the civil aid service. Earlier today, some residents went hiking along the McLehose Trail. This lady said she never ventures onto unknown tracks, choosing to stay on paved paths. Meanwhile, another hiker stressed the importance of proper gear. Hiking boots, raincoat, umbrella are the essentials for hiking. Also, it is much safer to hike with a friend. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
The rain-plagued West Kowloon Coffee Festival opens for the final day. Some exhibitors estimated a 50% loss in profit because of the adverse weather and muddy conditions. Mimosing Eye reports.
What is it like visiting a coffee festival held in a marsh? First of all, the organizer needs to install extra precaution measures to ensure visitors don't slip or get stuck in the muddy ground. At the coffee festival at West Kowloon Art Park, white plastic boards were placed on the ground to avoid the slides. Shoe covers and wellies become an essential for many visitors. The final day of this 4-day coffee festival continued at what many consider a mud pit as an amber rainstorm flooded the venue on Sunday, forcing some exhibitors to suspend their business. The organizer later announced that affected ticket holders will be granted a free entry on the last day of the festival. This man said the bad weather had ruined his mood on Sunday, so he left soon after arriving. While the weather condition was still not ideal, the visitor said he could at least walk around this time. Not everyone tried to protect their shoes. Wearing her sliders, this woman said she would just wash them afterward. Asked her about the reasons for coming to the event despite the conditions, she said she didn't want to waste the ticket. Coffee exhibitors are also victims of this incident. One local exhibitor said they had lost at least $10,000 because the rain had damaged some coffee beans. Another Taiwanese exhibitor, meanwhile, launched promotion to attract customers. They estimated the rain had reduced their profit by 40 to 50%. Mimosing Eye, TVB News.
A new wave of US-Israeli strikes across Iran have claimed more than 25 lives Sunday into Monday, as US President Donald Trump's deadline to reopen the Strait of Hormuz loomed. And Iran retaliated with more missile attacks in Iran, on Israel and neighboring Gulf countries. Egyptian, Pakistani and Turkish mediators sent a proposal late Sunday night calling for a 45-day ceasefire and the reopening of the strait. Officials said Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and US Mideast envoy Steve Witkoff have not responded to the proposal. Donald Trump earlier vowed significant escalation of bombing and targeting Iranian power plants and other civilian infrastructure if no deal was reached to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by Monday night, Washington time. He stepped up his threat to unleash all hell in a social media post, claiming Tuesday would be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. In response, Iran's parliamentary speaker called the threats reckless and said the only real solution is respecting the rights of the Iranian people and ending this dangerous game. The country's culture minister, Saeed Reza Salehi Amiri, described the US president as an unstable, delusional figure. He said in an interview that the Iranian society generally does not pay attention to Trump's statements, as it believes he lacks personal, behavioral and verbal balance and constantly shifts between contradictory positions. Fresh aerial strikes were reported in multiple cities in Iran in a war that has killed thousands. Blasts rang out into the night in Tehran. At least 13 were killed in a US-Israeli strike on a residential building south of the capital. Local media also reported damage to the building of Sharif University of Technology, which is empty of students, and a natural gas distribution site nearby. Among the victims killed in one of the attacks was the head of Revolutionary Guard's intelligence organization, Majid Hademi, according to Iranian authorities. 5 people were killed and several others injured from US-Israeli strikes on petrochemical facilities in Mashhad, southwestern Iran, over the weekend. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the plans as a major source for the Iranian regime and vowed in a video statement to press ahead with more attacks. 13 people were reportedly killed near Islam Shah. Meanwhile, 5 others could die from another strike on residential areas in the holy city of Qum. Iranians hit back by firing volleys of rockets at the northern Israeli city of Haifa, where 4 people were found dead in the rubble of a building. In Abu Dhabi, authorities were tackling fallen debris in the Masafat industrial area after intercepting Iranian missile by air defense systems. At least 11 more people died in Lebanon after Israel intensified its strikes on Beirut in a bid to destroy Hezbollah infrastructure. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Scores of Lebanese rescue personnel attempted to search for residents trapped beneath infrastructure damaged by Israeli attacks in southern Beirut. The region suffered from an entire night of airstrikes from Israeli forces that collapsed numerous buildings. Local health authorities said a family of 7, including a 4-year-old girl, were killed in the attacks. This as Israeli military forces announced that it has begun targeting Hezbollah infrastructure in the Lebanese capital. Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF, estimated that at least 4 people have died as a result, with another 40 having been injured. In response, a Hezbollah spokesperson issued a statement that the Shia Islamist organization's missiles successfully hit an Israeli military vessel. Meanwhile, Lebanese President Michel Aoun said he has already proposed a ceasefire with his Israeli counterpart, but he has yet to receive a response from the latter. The Lebanese leader further warned that internal peace within his country is a red line that should not be crossed, adding that Lebanon's military is fully prepared to tackle any forces attempting to incite any internal conflicts in the Middle Eastern nation. Aoun stressed negotiating with Israel is not an act of surrender, but simply the end point of any war. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
As millions of the Christians celebrated Easter around the world, Pope Leo XIV called upon world leaders who have started military conflicts to instead opt for peace, further urging the global community not to become numb to war. Amid escalating tensions in the Middle East, Iranian and Palestinian Christians echoed the Pope's sentiment, while the Holy Land itself remained largely empty of visitors due to the war in Iran. Timothy Lee again.
Jerusalem streets were filled with an eerie silence on what was supposed to be a cheerful day commemorating Jesus' resurrection. The few people that remained in public largely consisted of armed patrols and the most devout.
Very sad to see Jerusalem empty like this. Usually pilgrimage coming, especially in this day, everybody holding to welcome Jesus to come here. But very sad because of the war.
Large amounts of local Jews and Christians coped with the restrictions by offering their prayers outside the historic wall and at other sacred sites in the city. Celebrating Easter Mass at St. Peter's Square on the same day, Pope Leo XIV began his Orbi et Orbi address with global greetings in 10 languages, including Chinese, Arabic, and Latin. In his speech, the pontiff said death exists in a world of injustice and disregard for the weakest in society, and stressed that the latter are currently being devastated by war. He also implored warring parties to achieve peace through dialogue. In the heart of the Iran war, worshippers at this Armenian church in Tehran were not hoping for much this Easter, but only a return to normality. The The city's Archbishop of the Armenian Diocese in Tehran, Sepu Sargsyan, noted that the local community's prayers were mostly for the end of the war and for a return to their lives in peace. In Gaza's Holy Family Church, the only Catholic church in the battered territory, many expressed their thankfulness for a period of calm owing to an earlier ceasefire. Some of the faithful said they feel immense joy being able to celebrate all the Easter rituals and ceremonies this year, adding that they will continue to pray for the residents in Jerusalem and the West Bank. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
And still ahead, high-fuel price forces coach fleet to reduce service from Kowloon to town. And Jiangsu becomes development ground for AI applications in manufacturing. With global oil prices on the rise, a bus operator serving Kowloon has been forced to slash services and warns of a total shutdown if costs continue to increase. Samantha Lee reports.
The affected bus company is ABC Bus, which currently manages 4 routes in Kowloon, such as the NR79 between Chilok Fayun and Hong Kong. They also run 2 routes from Siloam Court to Wan Chai and Hong Kong, with the cross-harbor trip costing $24. In a statement posted on social media, the bus operator claimed they had been losing money on every trip since the diesel prices had doubled. As a result, they would scale back services until they receive approval for a fare hike. Otherwise, they might need to halt all buses or introduce fuel surcharges. So what do residents think? This man showed understanding, noting fuel is getting more and more expensive nowadays, and many transport operators are struggling to break even. Meanwhile, another resident complained that it may not be fair to pass the burden to daily riders, as those hikes would cause a significant hit to their monthly budget. Concerns are mounting that this is just the beginning, with a lawmaker worrying that more public transport services will be affected as well. Mark Zhang is a electoral councillor who represents the New Territories Northwest. He pointed that ABC Bus is known for its reliable services. He said if a well-managed company like ABC is feeling the squeeze, smaller operators are likely to be the next to cut back schedules. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
Fire safety awareness has been raised following a fatal fire in Taipo last year. A tech startup developed a specialized fire alarm featuring strobe lights and vibration alerts for hearing impaired. Equipped with smoke sensors, this fire alarm alerts users by flashing lights and vibrations. Designed specifically for the disabled, the device is priced at $300. Chairman of the tech company said the vibration is powerful enough to wake up an asleep person, giving them the golden window to get out. However, the only concern is the interference from other household gadgets. The world is actively developing artificial intelligence. In addition to Hangzhou's 6 little dragons, Jiangsu, as a traditional industrial powerhouse, offers ample scenarios for AI applications. Celine Chan reports from Jiangsu.
Robots can now tidy up clutter and even cook. The stage where they shine are no longer limited to the CCTV Spring Festival Gala, but to also our homes as well. That said, they might need a bit more training before they can help with more complex household chores. Perhaps a furry robotic pal is more popular, staying by its owner's side, keeping them company. It's so adorable that it melts your heart and leaves you in awe. In recent years, Jiangsu has been actively promoting technological innovation. There are over 600 companies related to the robotics industry chain in Suzhou alone. Last year, the AI industry in the region was worth nearly 350 billion yuan, with applications ranging from pilot training to sports filming.
Suzhou has a very comprehensive range of industrial categories, and our manufacturing base is very solid. Ultimately, AI must empower production. It requires broad and deep manufacturing scenarios. That's why Suzhou has the best scenarios and application sites. That is our advantage, or rather our foundation.
The Science Park has so far incubated over 5,000 enterprises with about 20 listed companies.
Currently, 5 companies incubated by the park have already been listed in Hong Kong. It's understood that 3 more are applying to do so.
Nanjing, the capital of Jiangsu, is also transforming into a national pilot city for AI innovation and application. The AI Innovation District, which opened last year, brings together nearly 400 AI companies. It combines online and offline services to help incubate enterprises and showcase products. In recent years, many cities across China have rolled out policies to attract investments, but the park believes Nanjing's advantage lies in its relatively complete ecosystem. The AI Innovation District's representative said companies can do research and development here and easily find their upstream and downstream partners because a number of AI-related industrial clusters are concentrated here. With that kind of ecosystem partnership, companies can achieve what they want in a one-stop manner. While deals may not always close on the spot, the progress of matchmaking at the district is much faster than typical transaction cycles. She also noted that Hong Kong serves as a platform to help mainland enterprises go global, promoting Chinese scientific research products to the world. The park also regularly organizes companies to visit Hong Kong, including attending the InnoX, which will take place later this month. Celine Chan, TVB News, Jiangsu.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.